call from City of Joburg, the call center, which is called Proton. They requested the province to come and back up for the stampede that took place in FNB Stadium. We actually got the call about 15:45, and we dispatched all our resources from the West Rand and City of Johannesburg. When we got here, we did a triage, that's an assessment of all the patients here. We found about 16 patients. Out of that, 2 were deceased at the stampede. That was between gate 14 and 16. And then there was 14 patients at the clinic. We triaged those 14 patients. One was serious, and the others were from moderate to less serious. And we transported to various hospitals, namely Helen Joseph, Chris Hani Baragwanath, and Charlotte Masheke at Johannesburg Academic Hospital.
That's unfortunately how we start tonight's show. Thank you very much for joining us on SABC News Channel 404. This is Sports Live Now. 2 soccer supporters, as you just heard, lost their lives this evening at the FNB Stadium earlier today. This, of course, that match involving Soweto Giants, Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. Several supporters were injured. 2 of them were said to be critical, but it was just heard from the Johannesburg Emergency Services. 1 is critical. There's about 14 injured who sustained some sort of injuries or so. Now, speaking to us to update us on the latest from the FNB Stadium was, well, he was there. He's now in studio. That's our senior reporter, Sifiso Ramara. Sifiso, thank you for joining us on Sports Live. We were sitting, in fact, you were charged with actually doing the match report for this match today. It turned out horribly wrong. We ended up dropping everything and rushing off to the FNB Stadium. Just update us. What is the latest? There was a press conference, I understand, a short while ago. You left that, you came here. Update us. What's the latest?
Yeah, good evening, and good evening to the viewers. It's a very unfortunate situation, you know. It reminds us of what happened in 2001, the Ellis Park disaster. You know, things like this, obviously, you know, they raises a lot of questions in terms of, you know, how things are done at our stadiums. But at the very same time, we cannot blame, you know, the organizers. They've been singing the song from the beginning of the week, or even...
In fact, last month already.
Yeah, to say, you know, if you don't have the stadium, the ticket don't go, tickets are sold out, come early to the stadium, that's pre-match entertainment. But soccer fans, being soccer fans in this country, people always go late to the stadium. I've seen a couple of matches where, you know, kickoff had to be delayed because people, you know, there are more people outside the stadium than inside. I spoke to one of the guys who survived the stampede. It's unfortunate. Apparently, they were opening a gate for some cars to go into the stadium. Supporters saw that gap.
And they rushed in?
They rushed in. There was pushing and shoving, and unfortunately, 2 guys lost their lives. I'm told they're between the ages of 30 and 40. It's very unfortunate.
There is a statement, I know that we've already got one from the stadium management, and you know, we saw another statement from the mayor, executive mayor of Johannesburg, Mr. Hem Mashaba. You mentioned the fact that it's a culture, it's a history of Siphon fans. We don't like to go to stadiums. Then you see scenes such as these right now we have on television where people are being rolled into ambulances. Are we doing enough to teach our fans the importance of being to a stadium on time, in particular with a fixture such as Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs, which is the fixture that anyone speaks about? It's top 5 in the world as far as derbies is concerned.
It's unfortunate, Tabi, so I don't know what it will take for our supporters to heed to the call that, you know, it's important to get to the stadium early, feel comfortable an hour or 2 before the match, but always there's that rush. And in most cases, you know, when, say, the respective teams take the field, you know, there'll be a lot of noise from inside the stadium.
Running,
yes, people then start, you know, we're missing out. They start rushing, and it's just an
I mean, you raise a point. You know, we've been giving out tickets, away tickets, right here on Sports Live for this match. As 12 o'clock today, people are still coming in to come pick up tickets for the game, and those people are basically late. But let's come back to the events of tonight. What was said in that press conference? Yeah,
basically in the conference, you know, an inquest will be opened. The Poisons police station. Investigations will start as soon as possible to make sure and, get to the bottom of establishing what happened. I mean, remember, this is the 7th edition of the Black Label Cup.
Yeah.
Always this event attracts record crowd. I mean, all the previous events were incident-free.
Yeah.
I think we mustn't start pointing a finger and say the organizers this and that. I mean, for the past 6 years, these events were incident-free.
Yeah.
It's not easy to manage 80,000 people. It, takes a lot of effort. So I think we must wait for the investigations to unfold and find out exactly what transpired.
The respective teams, what is the word coming from their side, from the respective teams, Orlando Pirates as well as Kaizer Chiefs?
The statement that was released earlier this afternoon, it's Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates and Stadium Management South Africa, as well as the sponsors, expressing their condolences to the lost lives. And you know what, let's hope something like this doesn't happen again.
What are the fans saying? I mean, you said you spoke to one of the fans earlier today. I know we still, when you leave here, you're still going to go put that together. What are the fans saying? What is the feel and the mood from them? Yeah,
I spoke to Joyce Chahuke, the prominent Orlando Pirates supporter. She was heartbroken. It's so unfortunate, Tabiso. You leave home, you go to the stadium, and you don't come back. Probably the families are waiting for whoever to come back, and these people, they take their heart and cash to try and support the beautiful game. But if there's a loss of life, it's so unfortunate, and I hope the two clubs will be able to do something to make sure that they recognize the two families.
It's a pre-season match. I mean, we look at again the pictures as they're coming in. The people go to the stadium or to this match. There's no other crowd bigger than this. Again, I do not want to point fingers, but you raise an important thing. 7th edition, one would have thought we've learned enough, we know what's going to happen. Nothing has happened in the past 6 years. Is it a matter of maybe complacency, or is it just one of those incidents? Look, obviously you cannot foresee a stampede, or maybe, will we complacent in the fact that we never thought something would happen?
I think it's a difficult situation, Tabiso. Fans, they go out, they buy tickets, they are encouraged to go to the stadium early, and they never do. I don't know what's going to take, I don't know what type of education to make sure that our fans are there early. I mean, if they say kickoff is going to be at 3:30, you've got deals with the broadcasters and whatever. It's so difficult to delay the kickoff of a match and whatever. But in most cases, I think there were more people inside the stadium than outside. Those are things that they usually check. If you have more people outside than inside, I think the match was going to be delayed. But there were more people than those that were outside. And
the other thing that I'm picking up on social media, people, whilst we discuss this, the fact that why did the match continue inside when they knew that there was stampede outside? I've been trying to say to viewers or to people, saying, look, maybe we should try and be fair to organizers, because inside a stadium with 90,000 people screaming and shouting, if it does not affect the goings-on the field of play, and they would not have known, or would they have?
A similar question was asked earlier when I was at the stadium. It's difficult. Like I said, you've got 50,000 people inside the stadium. The event, the unfortunate event, happened outside the stadium. What do you do? Do you announce and tell those that are already there, looking forward to that match, to say, guys, the match is no longer going to continue because of 1, 2, 3. Like you rightfully said, it happened outside the stadium. So it was going to be difficult for the organizers to call off that match, considering that it had attracted, again, a record crowd of around 90,000 people. Yeah. So I don't think it was going to be possible for the organizers to cancel this afternoon's clash.
Quickly, I know you need to go. Anything maybe that we missed out that you'd like to share with us?
No, I think we've covered everything.
No, Ramara, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us right here on Sports Live. The goings on at the FNB Stadium. I know that it was a tough time when we had to report on the Ellis Park incident, and unfortunately it's happened again this time round with the Carling Black Label Cup. Ramara speaking to us about the stampede that happened earlier this evening at the FNB Stadium Carling Black Label Cup, where 2 people were reported to have died, one in critical condition, as you heard at the top of the show, and a couple more still injured.